Welcome to NFL Live, and we're kicking off with breaking news. The tush push lives. At spring meetings today in Eagan, Minnesota, the final vote for the Packers' proposal was 22-10, falling 2 votes shy to change the rule and ban the tush push. Our Jeremy Fowler has been at spring meetings this week. Jeremy, back in your old Twin Cities stomping grounds, I see. How did this vote go down to keep the tush push alive today? Month-over-month support, but we fell short.
Yeah, Phil, the Eagles put off a bit of an upset here. I talked to team sources who said they did not know what to expect when they entered the meeting this morning. After owner Jeffrey Lurie and former All-Pro center Jason Kelce spoke, they still didn't know where they stood or whether the vote of the Packers' proposal to eliminate pushing and pulling of players was going to pass. And so they were only hopeful. But I was told that Lurie gave an impassioned speech to the group. He basically stressed that, hey, to be so proficient at a play, only for it to be banned by the league would be really unfortunate. He and Kelce both stressed that there is no injury risk with this play. There's no data that supports that. And so I talked to Steelers president Art Rooney. He thought that might have swayed a few teams that were on the fence. Kelce and Lurie delivering that speech as they did. It came through as a very close vote, 22-10. So almost proposed for the Packers to get through, but it didn't quite work. So the tush push lives.
Needed 24 to pass, and it's worth noting, as dominant as Philly was on this play, they only ran 1 push sneak in the Super Bowl, a luxury when you start with 34-0 lead. Jeremy, thanks so much.
Thank you.
As for the Eagles' reaction, the Team X account put out this image with push on. They're lined up against the Packers here, who had the proposal on the table to ban the tush push. I'm sure that's a coincidence. Louis Riddick, Booker McFarland, Dan Graziano, all joining me now. Boog, this has been the hot rule change topic this offseason. What's your reaction to the news that the tush push survives?
I'm extremely happy that it's still around. I was one of the ones that's been against it, guys. I think that if you look at the play, number one, everybody has the opportunity to do it in the National Football League. We've seen the Buffalo Bills try to do it, with some success with Josh Allen. But everyone could do this play if they want to. And I thought it would really be unfair to punish the Eagles because they had perfected this play based on their quarterback and his physical structure and how strong he is and based on how good their offensive line is. I get it. It's a quote-unquote dangerous play based on what may happen. But until I see some injury data of something that has happened, I'm going to be where I am now, which is in favor of the tush push moving on. Because essentially what this is a quarterback sneak. And there's no effort and there's no momentum whatsoever to ban the quarterback sneak. Now, I do think where there's a little bit of gray area is when it gets into pushing ball carriers when they're 10, 15 yards down the field. I think that's something that the referees have to control with how early they blow the whistle. But as far as the tush push itself and that specific play, I'm glad that it lives on. And if you don't like it, stop it. It's really simple.
Yeah, man. You know what, Boog? This, to me, never was about injury risk, right? I mean, come on. It's a quarterback sneak that they run on 4th and short, 4th and 1. I mean, what this was like a Hail Mary to go, hey, guys, we can't figure out how to slow this thing down. They have this ridiculous conversion rate on this. Can you help us out just by throwing it out? Can you just throw it out because we can't stop it? Now, as far as pushing and pulling guys down the field, I'm with you again. That should not be allowed. That just kind of like goes against, to me, football as I know it. You shouldn't be able to be pushing guys and pulling them across first down markers, line the gains, across the goal line, as they're 10, 15, 20 yards down the field. So I think here, for Philadelphia, hey, look, it's a huge win for them. Other teams need to look at exactly, what kind of countermeasures can they put into place in order to slow it down, which quite honestly, I don't really think you can. Their offensive line is just too good. Jalen Hurts is just too strong. And whether or not, unless you have about 3 or 4 Vita Veas from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, you're cooked. You're cooked when they decide to do this. It's just over. It's a wrap.
The only way to stop it is to get 2 more votes than they had today. And don't rule out the possibility of this happening next year or in a future year, because the teams that want it out because they can't stop it have an ally in the NFL, which doesn't like the play because it's ugly and disgusting to watch, and its outcome is not in doubt. The NFL hates plays like that because you guys can talk about fairness and safety, and these are important things, but the NFL is also putting on a television show every week, and they want people to watch. So I think the fact that this play continues to be sort of odious in the eyes of some of the people that run the league mean that we may not have heard the last of this debate. Eagles win for now, but don't be surprised if we're back here talking about this next year.
I think Boog hit the nail on the head. You just need a QB who knows his way around the squat rack. Last season, it was the Eagles and the Bills who accounted for over half of the push sneaks in the NFL. Hey, looking up at those Bills in the AFC East, the Jets are midway through their first of 3 OTAs in the coming weeks. The franchise with the longest active playoff drought has a new head coach, a new GM, and a new quarterback for 2025. Aaron Glenn spoke on Justin Fields' fit this afternoon.
Justin's doing things outside of the building that I'm going to let him speak on whenever you guys talk to him, show how he's trying to just have relationships with all the players, and not just the offensive players either, just with all the players on the team. And that has a lot to do with leadership there. Yes, he is a quiet voice, but that quiet voice doesn't mean that people don't hear him. You know, people see the way that he works. That speaks more than what you say. He's not trying to be the celebrity quarterback. He's just trying to be himself. And whatever comes with that, it comes with it.
Whew, there's a soundbite. Gang Green starts fresh, parting ways with Aaron Rodgers, bringing in their own 1994 first-round pick, Aaron Glenn, new head coach. The big signings, Fields adds also Brandon Stevens, Andre Sisco to the secondary. In the draft, the Jets opted for protection with tackle Armand Membu out of Mizzou, and then did lose some big pieces in Devontae Adams, Hassan Reddick, Morgan Moses. But Boog, nowhere better to start than with quarterback. How much of an upgrade is it, if at all, in 2025 to have Rodgers out, Fields in?
Well, I think obviously you get younger, you get more athletic with Justin Fields, but I think you're also going to lose just a little bit of that passing prowess. So I think it's going to be a net equal because what you lose from Aaron Rodgers with the ability to throw the football down the field, Justin Fields is going to make some plays. There's no doubt. His athletic ability and his ability to keep some plays alive with his legs and even the organized diagram run game, I think is going to be there. I just want to know what the offensive structure is going to be like. Are they going to lean into his athletic ability? Are they going to lean into his ability to run the football? Are they going to lean into developing a play-action passing game that's off the running game that will create some layers between the second and third levels that'll make the passing game easier for him? This is all going to depend on what kind of offensive structure they have in New York. But I was once told that the job of a coach is to take what a player does best and allow him to do that more and build off that and to minimize his weaknesses. So if you're the offensive staff in New York, we understand by now what this young man does in the National Football League. Let's not build an offense of what he can't do. This is not an offense built for Aaron Rodgers. Let's build an offense of what Justin Fields can do so you can accentuate what he does well and minimize what he doesn't. That's what they should be doing in New York.
And, Boog, I don't think there's any question that Aaron Glenn and offensive coordinator Tanner Engstrand understand what the mission is. I mean, it's right there in front of you. Look, this football team has 3 first-round picks on its offensive line, 3 with the addition of Armand Membu this year. And they are quality players and a number 2 in Joe Tippmann who plays center. They should be mauling people at the line of scrimmage. And I mean mauling them. And then you got Breece Hall and Braylon Allen, too, at running back? Are you kidding me? And Justin Fields, if this team does not lead the league in rush percentage, if this team does not average well over 4 yards per carry, if this team is not top 10 in run block win rate, if this team is not top 10 in time of possession, in rushing first downs gained, and which will do nothing but, as you said, Booger, it should have a lot of 8-man boxes result, a lot of one-on-ones on the outside, a lot of clean looks for Justin Fields, a lot of rest for the defense, which is pretty darn good already up front in the front 7. Added some nice pieces in the secondary. That is Aaron Glenn's wheelhouse right there. This team should be seriously improved, and their identity should be staring you right in the face. It should be absolutely like a no-brainer here. And if Tanner Engstrand was to come out there and go, hey, look, you know what we're going to do? We're going to go 3 wides, and we're going to spread it out and put you in the gun and make you read the field. Fire him. Fire him. This is, to me, one of the most easily constructed offenses in terms of philosophical approach, you know, of any team in the NFL. And this should be, hey, they know where their strengths are. We'll see what happens.
We're out here firing offensive coordinators before their first mini camp. I mean, this is intense. Look, the Jets, they know what they have. They have the dynamic running backs. If you're getting one-on-ones on the outside with Garrett Wilson, you're going to take that all day. That's going to make Justin Fields look really good. In Pittsburgh last year, he was early in the season, they thought they had their run game in a decent place, but I think the Jets running backs in 2025 probably better than what the Steelers had in 2024. So he's in a good position. What's interesting about the Jets is a lot of new there, new quarterback, new coach, new coordinator. They have kind of a tough start to their schedule. The early part of their schedule looks a little bit rough. The latter part, toward the end of the year, again, just basing it on opponents and assuming everyone's about as good as they were last year, looks like it could be a little softer. But and so I think you have a team here that might have a little bit of growing pains going into the season, but may get better as the season goes along if Justin Fields is in that kind of position you guys are talking about, where they're thinking about his strengths and minimizing his weaknesses, and they have him in a position to thrive.
And they got to put.
And guys, let's just say that they do everything we're talking about. If they do that, then to me, the best part of this team is going to have an opportunity to shine, which is that defensive line. When you talk about Quentin Williams, you talk about them first-round picks, Jermaine Johnson, McDonald, those guys will have an opportunity to be fresh and rush the passer. And oh, by the way, last time I checked, the head coach was a defensive head coach. That means to tell me that this team is probably going to play that way. They're going to play to their defense and allow their defense to win some games. And how do you win games as a defense? Go ask the Philadelphia Eagles. You get after them with your front four. I think the Jets can do that. So don't be surprised if this team, if they play the right way, they can be a lot better than we think they can.
Look, up front, there's no excuse. It's not like they look. I know that, you know, automatically having high draft picks doesn't equate to quality football play in a team sense. Like, we all know that. But these guys are good. They're good players that they have. There's no excuse. They should be whooping people up front on both sides of the ball. And Justin should be the primary beneficiary of that. Breece Hall should have his best season. And Braylon Allen, come on now. I mean, have we seen Braylon Allen? Are you serious? I mean, this team's identity, to me, is just so easy to forecast what it should look like.
And Lewis, to hammer that point, the Jets last season couldn't put games away. Last year, lost 6 games in which they held a fourth quarter lead. That wasn't just the most in the NFL. That was a franchise record. Well, hey, we passed our early tests, I think, here on NFL Live. After an offseason of upgrades, though, the Bears, they look.
Xin chào các bạn nha. Ngày hôm nay mình sẽ hướng dẫn các bạn căn dặn đó là bây giờ mình sẽ hướng dẫn các bạn căn dặn đó là cái thước. Bây giờ mình sẽ hướng dẫn các bạn nha.